How are you, ma'am?
Absolutely fine.
Okay. So, guys,
Well,
ma'am, let me introduce you to our audience, please.
yeah.
Guys, ma'am is a professor and head in my college, ITS Dental College, Greater Noida, and she is graduate and postgraduate from King George Medical College, KGMC, Lucknow. 65 publications and more than 30 paper presentations in national and international conferences. Authored chapters in four prestigious textbooks. Awarded fellow ISP PD in 2017, and in the same year was award for academic excellence was given to her. Worked as a guest faculty at SSP Medical College, Mauritius, and currently is the president elect of the National Society of Pediatric Dentistry, SPPD. A very warm
ISP.
welcome, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
ISPPD. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Jasmine, for having invited me over for this discussion and this talk. And good afternoon to all members who have logged in. It's really a pleasure to be with you all. And yes, I think I just need to correct. It is ISPPD, that is
PPD.
Indian Society for Periodontics and Preventive Dentistry, and
Right.
elect right now.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am, my first question is for the third years and the final years, like the right way to study, learn, and understand periodontics because it's about the most delicate branch because we are dealing with the children. So, how should we study?
So, if you really ask me how you're going to study, first you have to understand that a child is not a miniature adult. Okay, so we
Yeah.
have to first thing is that we have to understand the definition. What does pediatric dentistry actually define? So, as I always, gulp it down all of your throats, the definition. It is just to make it more simple and understandable. Because pediatric dentistry would be, as I said, dealing with primary and comprehensive and preventive and therapeutic, all the treatments for the infants and children through adolescence. So
True.
thereby, what you have to understand is that pediatric dentistry will be treating all kind of things. The treatment that you're going to provide will be many folds, and the limit is going to be that age. So it is an age-defined specialty. So that is
Yes.
the where your limitation lies. Now, if you ask me as to what is the best way to learn, so I would like to define it for all the specialties. Like, what would it be? First thing is that when you go to a lecture theatre, when you go for a presentation, please listen properly, whatever is happening. Before that, I would like to say that at least have 100% attendance. You know,
Yeah.
so your attendance is mandatory. It is very, very important because you have to be there in the clinics, you have to be there in the LT lecture theaters in order to hear. At least you should be able to know the topic, what is there, and once you hear something, once you see that audio visual thing, it is there in your mind. So first thing, first golden rule is that please be very, very disciplined about attending regularly in your classrooms. Okay.
True.
Second thing is listen to the topic, whatever is being taught. Then your comprehension, about the topic. What all do you understand? Like when in the 12th standard, you remember comprehensive passage used to be given to us, and then we used to.
Yeah.
In a similar way, I always say that you just try to comprehend whatever you are listening. Once you comprehend, then if you feel those and those topics are clinical, suppose you go ahead with a pulpotomy, okay, it is being taught in the class, and then if the teacher demonstrates you, and then in the long run, later on, if you do it,
Yeah.
then you can forget. So
Yes.
the easiest way is, to go step by step, first is to listen nicely to the presentation, to be present in the class, comprehend it, look in for the demo that is being given to you, the skill demo that is being given, and then you perform.
Yeah.
So these the stepwise way of learning anything.
So, ma'am, any books you would like to recommend for the UG students?
Okay, if you want to ask, then the Bible of pediatric dentistry is McDonald's, Book of
Right.
McDonald's. Now it is coming by the name of Jeffrey, Jean Jeffrey also. Uh, That is the first book I would like to recommend, McDonald's. Then you have the Casa Messino or Pinkham. Then we have a lot of Indian authors. Dr. Shobha Tannen's book is there, Dr. Damle, Dr. Muthu, Dr. Nikhil Marwa. So these are the books. Whatever the students feel, whatever they like, they can go and read. But yes, whatever notes is being given, what is being taught in the class, the teacher simplifies everything and gets it for you. You know, you're served in a platter, in a class. So you have to be there and you have to be regular over there.
Teachers do their homework prior to coming to the LT.
Yeah, everybody does that.
A few suggestions on the preclinical and clinical work, because once we understand the theories, the second step, which is difficult for us to do, is preclinical and clinical work in the UG years.
Okay. I wish you had asked me all these questions while you were here. It would have been wonderful. But regarding the preclinical, I always feel, it is the best to be done on simulator if possible. When you have very good simulation labs and you do those procedures, and then because they are done under critical supervision
Right.
of the teachers. So once you have done that, then it's easy for you to switch over from the simulators to the clinical practice, and you can go ahead from the simpler procedures to the more complex ones.
Yeah.
So that's how what we try to teach over here is that we do simple class 1 and class 2 cavity cuttings. We teach you maybe some PIC restorations, maybe the sealants can be taught. Those are the simple things which we teach, and we expect as a graduate student for you all, mainly we really want you to look at the patients, recognize the difference in between the primary and the permanent teeth. That is something very important. Children should know what is the difference between a primary and a permanent teeth. That is my first attempt, to make this everybody recognize, because I've seen a lot of many places where this becomes a little tricky. So I want the student to be very well versed, in recognition of the teeth, recognizing the problem as such, what is the problem with which the child has come. And we want you all to focus more on the preventive aspects, like your fluoride therapies, your picture sealants, your diet counseling, your brushing technique, demo, technique of brushing also, and how to do it, the counseling of the oral hygiene. So these are the basic things which will form the prevention part of the child. And as I always say, that once you have done something good to the child, and you have made him a good patient, remember he's going to be a patient for life.
True, ma'am.
So I remember very well, children are treated some 10 years, 8, 9 years old. After 10 years also they'll come, or grade 3 mobile tooth, and they want me to do the extraction. So those kind of things happen with all the fields of medical courses, because reason is that the trust that you get between the doctor and the patient, that is very important. So what I feel is, what you have asked me, the basic thing is that if you can have good management, good understanding of the patient problems, you can go ahead with the treatment easily.
Right. Ma'am, now the most important part of the BDS, I feel it's internship, because no matter how much you have done in the 4 years, internship equals to every year. So how can we get the best of the pedo department when we are dental interns?
Okay. Internship itself is a very important year in the life of graduate or medical coming out doctor. So it is at the threshold of becoming an independent doctor. The child has to go now and practice independently. So you should be armored with the correct management skills of the patient. That is what is very important. So I always feel that you should be very good at proper diagnosis. Diagnosis is very, very important, because he has to understand the the problem which the patient is. So the diagnosis part should be very nicely mastered by an intern. Firstly. then he should understand the patient's expectations. Well, it's very,
Right.
again, very important. When you are going to convert a patient and you are going to treat him, so you have to understand the patient's expectations. And then your communication skills should be very, very, very good, in the sense you have to explain things in the patient's language.
Yeah.
Patient has to, it should be very simple, it should be lucid, it should be made very clear to the patient with all the possible things that you can explain, and then you can go ahead. So, what I feel is that once in your internship you have done the work under critical supervision, I don't think it should be a problem anymore. You should be able to do it.
Right. Ma'am, exactly. We have a question here. How can we handle a pedo patient more effectively?
Okay. So, pedo patient, you have to actually understand that his cognitive development is in a stepwise manner. So he doesn't have the intellect or the power to understand as adults as we are. So we have
Yeah.
to understand him at that level. And the technique actually which works wonderfully is the tell show do technique. That really works
Yeah.
wonderfully. You have to just tell him, explain things to him. He's very fearful. He's very anxious.
Yeah.
So that anxiety part you need to deal with, and I'm very sure that it is very easy to speak to children when you come down to that level of the child, understand his
Yeah.
cognition level, and then you talk to him in a manner that he will understand. And if he is below that age, of course, you cannot expect. Then you have to tell the parents, you teach the parents, or you have to make the things clear to the parents. But for the child, the management part, child management is the key to dealing with a pediatric patient. So if you have mastered that, then you can very well go ahead with any kind of treatment that you do. So you should employ
Okay.
all things that you know about dealing with the non-pharmacological technique. Your very first interaction with the child, your verbal, your
Yeah.
non, your way of looking at the child, your patting him, your encouraging words, those things itself develops a very good rapport. So that is the key to it. And then how to manage the child successfully would be these things. I would always try to stress on the non-pharmacological management methods. After that, yes, if the child is a little anxious, you can take him in conscious sedation. We have the
Yes.
nitrosox here in your college, here in ITS. So we are dealing with, we are taking the patients under nitrous oxide. If more, then of course it comes into play. So those are the
Yeah.
steps by you have to manage. Yeah.
So, ma'am, if people have given NEET MDS this year and they want to join if pedo department, then what all they can expect? Like, what is the basic curriculum we have in MDS?
Basic curriculum, basic curriculum is, I think, similar to all the specialties. Basic
True.
things it will be applied anatomy, physio, pharma, path, micro, and then you go ahead with your. We have some few topics, basic science topics. They are all taught, like
Yeah.
your, let's say, imaging techniques, your photography, your
Yes.
stem cells, some bone, some, some topics which are very, very critical. Maybe something to do with your geriatric dentistry, something which will be common that will be taught.
Yeah.
Special dentistry may be taught a few topics. So those are the few topics which are taken every year, common for all the people. So basic sciences would be, I think, common for all the specialities. Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, pedo, I feel, is a department that where we are connected with all the branches of dentistry. We are doing ortho, we are doing endo, we are doing perio. So, when it comes to if we want to choose pedo, then it's a must because we always stay connected. It's not that we are going deeper into just one thing. It's like we are always staying connected to all the branches of dentistry.
Yes, it is a comprehensive management. It is a comprehensive
Yeah.
management of of the child patient that you are getting.
Yeah.
Meaning
True.
that you start from preventive part, then you go to the behavior management part, management of the patient. Then you, if you look at it, your respiratory part, your endo part, the preventive interceptive ortho part,
Yes.
your crowns, which we do, different types of crowns we do. Then yes, what should I say? The
Extractions.
extractions, surgical, minor surgical work, the lasers that
Yes.
we are using. So
Yeah.
so what happens? The best part about pedo is that mundane thing, that monotonous, thing that you're going ahead with a single procedure every day, that breaks. You're all the time,
Yes.
all the subjects. So that is the
Yeah.
beauty. So people
Yes,
just
ma'am.
do when they are out in the market and they are practicing. That is the beauty of pediatric dentistry. It gives you that kind of confidence. You look start to
Yes.
look differently.
So, ma'am, exactly what is till what age does a pediatric dentistry is the range? Till what age we do pediatric dentistry?
If you go by the definition, if you just
Yeah.
look at the given by American Association of Pediatric Dentistry, which we all are following, it was given in the year 1999, and they simply say that it will be from infancy through adolescence. Okay.
Okay.
So infancy through adolescence, if I take that age group, so maybe all the things till about 18, 19, we can include.
Yes. Okay.
Also, allows us to treat all the patients who fall under the handicap group or the it's a differently abled people,
Yes.
special.
Special people. Yeah. Special kids.
So special
Okay.
care dentistry is also part of pediatric dentistry. So actually the spectrum is so wide. If anybody
Yeah.
just pick up, something like for the special care dentistry, you can just master that part. If you want, if you are good at, let's say, minor oral surgical procedures, you can go there. If you are very good at management of the children, the DA, the conscious sedation, all these things, you can master that. So it gives you ample opportunity. If you are interested in trauma management, that most
Yes.
of the I'm very passionate about that. So you can just in that. So these are the things, give such a lot of varied range to everybody to be feel very excited about. You get different kind of
Yeah.
patients, post
Ma'am,
and
that
core,
was,
and
yeah. That was my next question. Like scope and job opportunities after MDS as a pediatric dentist.
so whenever you talk of scope, I always feel that medical science is taught to build up entrepreneurs. It is not for anybody to
Yeah.
see. It
True.
really empowers you to practice, to be self-employed,
Yes.
okay, to be
Yes.
you learn the skills, whatever is available to you in the colleges. You can take up various workshops, you can take up various courses outside,
Yes.
and you should armor yourself, you should build yourself technically, skillfully, so that you are able to be self-employed. That is what is always the
Yes.
goal of any
Goal.
medical course that we are offering. Having said that, it is not always easy, to practice in a place where every second line would have a dentist,
Yeah.
dental clinic. But even then, you can always make a mark or discern yourself from the others if you're very good at something. It's all related to the handwork that you are giving. If I have to today go ahead with the restoration of my tooth, I would think twice. Whom should
Yes.
I go to? I will also try to
True.
find out some very good at things. So nowadays, everybody is so much aware that they want to take their children also to a pediatric clinic. Earlier things were different, but now
Yeah.
become more and more aware with the availability. They will see the Google, they will Google everything, and then they'll find out, and then they would like to go to a pediatric dentist. So this is
Yes.
why these subjects or MBS in any particular field is becoming very important for everyone. Scope again, if you come to scope, yes, job opportunities, you said.
Yes.
There are job opportunities in the sector, maybe the central state government, those are there. There are the job opportunities, let us say, in the armed forces.
Yeah.
Armed forces, paramilitary forces, you have the railways, You have
Yes.
various forms like your NTPC, ONGC.
Yeah.
He will not ask for a pediatric dentist. They'll ask for an MDS, but a pediatric dentist, can manage patients, can manage all kind of
Yeah.
patients.
True. True.
Kind of a scope. So, and hospitals they take you. You can
Yeah.
also you can also diversify. See, the clinical research is going to be again a very thing to look upon in the next, let's say, a decade or so. Research
Yes.
is going to really come up. Now it is
Yeah.
going to be very um sought after. So clinical research is one branch. Then you have the pharmaceuticals, you have the hospital administration, management. These are the all related to dentistry, of course. Some
Yes.
insurance companies also hire you sometimes.
Yeah.
Uh, medical transcription is there. If you are good as an MDS, also you can be a reviewer, independent reviewers to
Yes.
journal. So those also give you the opportunities. So there are once you are there in the field,
Yeah.
sky is the limit. You can go for various fellowships in various countries and then learn something and then again come back. And I think
True. Okay. Ma'am, I wanted to know your story on why you choose pediatric dentistry. Were you always into it?
okay. Uh, if I have to talk about my story, yes, I was always in love with children. I used to always say that
Okay.
I love the oral cavity of a child because it's so neat and tidy, so clean. I really don't want to
Right.
look into the mouth also. So I love children. And not only that, during my time, the competition was there.
Yeah.
So my score was such that I would get either oral surgery, perio, or pedo, and
Okay.
choose pediatric dentistry over these two other subjects which were there open for me.
Yeah.
Reason for that, I was not a much of a surgical branch lover, so I chose
Okay.
pediatric dentistry. And in my time, all these things were not that much. We were not exploring what should we do and things like that.
Yes. True.
It just, and we just went by the flow, I would
Pro.
say.
Yeah.
So that is how
Okay.
I came in, and when I came in, I really felt that this subject has given me a lot of area to dwell in and to really teach, to learn, to teach the students, especially because pediatric dentistry is a very new branch. Earlier, it was
Yes.
classical ortho, so it got separated. I don't remember when, but I would like to say that the first dental college which taught pediatric dentistry in India was Amritsar, okay, DDC
Okay.
Amritsar. That happened in the year 1950. And then
Okay.
in my alma mater, that is KGMC, it started in the year, I think, 1967. And BDS, even I gave the exams of pedo along with ortho. So you can imagine that
Okay.
the subject got separated, I think, in the year somewhere around 93 or 94 or somewhere there, 94,
Okay. Yeah.
emerged as a separate branch in UG very late, and
Yeah.
pediatrics as a subject in India came in the year 1950 only, with the establishment of this subject in Government Medical College, Amritsar. So it is
Right.
a new. So when we had come out, so it was again a new field. So we could really delve deep into it, learn it, and teach it, and really it was an exciting field for me all through. And I very fortunate and I'm blessed that I'm doing this.
Ma'am, we are blessed to have you.
Yeah, sure. Such lovely children. Yeah, I was very happy to have been invited over and to talk and to address you all. It's really a
Thank you,
pleasure.
ma'am. Ma'am, there is a question for me. This is my personal question. Like, before I open for any dentist, before he or she opens his own setup, what from pediatric dentistry we must learn, or according to you, what are the things we must know actually before we open up a one?
Then again, I said that as soon as you get a child patient, the first thing is that you should be very confident to look into the mouth to understand which teeth, okay, which stage
Yeah.
of development of the tooth he is in. You should be able to make proper diagnosis. And after that, whatever restorations we can do, the fluoride therapies, okay,
Yes.
and it would be very good because these days the indirect pulp therapy is coming up very nicely. So if you
Yeah.
can see that the caries is not very deep, or it is a little deep, let's say into the dentin, you can excavate it, leave a little last layer over there. Go ahead with the indirect pulp therapy procedure with different materials that are available these days. And together with it, I would like you all to do some pulpal procedure also. You know,
Yes.
just like your pulpectomies or pulpotomies, you should master those also. And secondly, what you will be getting very frequently are the patients of trauma. Dental
Yeah.
trauma should be known to you all. These are the two
Yes.
things which you should learn. You should know that this is class one fracture, this is class two. Now the pulp has been involved. Now what we should do? Our Wells tooth comes to us. What should we do?
Yeah,
Uh,
true, ma'am.
a primary tooth fracture comes to us. This come to us. At least we should be able to uh, clean the area, make it accessible, see, visualize for ourselves, shoot a radiograph, should be able to
Yes.
take photograph and actually assess and give the correct treatment line to the patient. Whatever treatment you are going to do, that should be correctly
Yes.
explained. You know, you should not
Yeah.
be able to actually give the correct guidance to the patient. You use the word guiding the patient
Right.
correctly. That's very
Right.
important.
Ma'am, from the patient point of view, there is a very common question asked, like, what is the right toothpaste for the kids? Should we use fluoridated, non-fluoridated, till what age, pea size, rice grain? So, can you please just brief us for a little moment regarding that?
Okay. So if I have to just talk about it, as soon as the child is born, he is toothless, of course. So
Yeah.
he the gum pads. So the mother should be told that after every feed, you're supposed to clean the gum pad with a moist cotton cloth, you know, not a
Right.
moist
Yeah.
cotton cloth dipped in water, and you should
Yeah.
wipe off pads as well as the tongue. That is the basic
Okay.
oral hygiene which he should follow. After that, when the
Right.
teeth every tooth, as soon as the tooth erupts, there should be brushing of the tooth surfaces because here the colonies of the mutants, etc., all the bacteria start colonizing on the hard surfaces of the tooth. So that is imperative that she has to go ahead with the brushing. Okay,
Yeah.
and then the child has all the teeth in the oral cavity. Then, when the teeth start erupting, then she has to follow the Holmes technique, which you all know.
Yeah.
Amount of toothpaste can be, you can say that it can be a smear layer.
Okay.
Just,
Yeah.
and then when let's say the child is about 1 year old, so you can go ahead with your rice grain or something, very small speck of it. Because children have this habit of eating up the toothpaste, rather
Yes. Yeah.
want the detergents, etc., to go into the child's tummy and be having other side effects of it. So
Ish.
we just want
Yeah.
the minimum and the mechanical activity of the toothbrush that I will actually remove all the debris, and that is going to be beneficial. Regarding the fluoride, this is a topical fluoride which we are giving. So if the child is
Yes.
very maybe less than 2, then we can give him your 500 ppm fluoride. But if he is in a caries risk status, then the fluoride that is these days recommended is 1000 ppm. Now the
PPM.
concept of 500 ppm is actually become obsolete, and it is a fluoridated
Yes.
toothpaste 1000 ppm. And I will tell you, all the toothpaste in the country, they are fluoridated.
Yes.
OTC.
True. Yeah.
You have to really look for the toothpaste which are non-fluoridated.
Yeah.
Something would be non-fluoridated. Most of the toothpaste that are available, they are all fluoridated toothpaste.
Fluoridated. Yeah.
Companies which they give you, you can give them to very small children. And then
Yes.
once the child is a little more grown up, let's say about 5, 6 years old, you can start with that pea size. So you just
Yeah.
increase it. To start with, it
Yes.
should be just nearing. maybe the rice grain. After that, then you can switch over to the free size, and
Yes.
that's how it should be.
All right.
Basically, the technique, the exact technique, the form's
Yeah.
technique to teach to the mother, and she should
Yes.
teach it to the making big circles and reducing it and
Yeah.
getting it, doing it nicely. That itself, makes it slowly he will learn it nicely. It's an easy technique along with the scrub technique.
Yes.
Those are the things which one should emphasize upon. Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you, ma'am. It was beautifully explained. I won't take much of your time now. Thank you so much for joining in. This was with Pedo. I just had one name in my mind and I wanted to have this session before this year ends. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. It was wonderful being with you and being part of this session. And all those who are there, a big hello to you all. Anytime you want to connect with me, anytime, any question, you're most welcome. Please come over. I'm here. You can give me any question. You can just put it across. Jasmine will get it to me, and
Sure.
I'll answer all your
Anytime.
queries. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Jasmine.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.